Hello, welcome to Healing Fire. I have Irish Granny Helen here with me. We're laughing because we were chatting behind the scenes. Hold on, what my? Hold on, 1 second. I have a weird view here. I don't know what's going on. There we go.
I've got two sets of people.
Yeah, is it gone?
There's us and the doppelgangers.
That's okay. They won't show up.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, hello everybody.
Thanks for inviting me, Judy. This is always fun.
Thank you so much. So you are one of my very, very, very favorite people. So I love whenever we connect. It's so much fun, and
I don't hear that too often. So you can say that again. That's nice. Thank you. I see you put up the pink and the purple in my honor. I love purple.
Oh, me too. So there you go. And we both have Celtic blood, although mine is more removed than yours.
Well, it's like being baptized a Catholic. Once you have that indelible mark, there's no getting rid of it, you know.
True that. Yeah, I know. And I was gonna say they even tried to adopt me out so I'd get rid of it, and it's still stuck.
No. Once you have the mark.
So first of all, if y'all don't know who Irish Granny Helen is, please check her out. She always does. You do amazing things. You do lots of book reads and interviews, and of course you do knitting, and which I have wanted to learn, but I have not. Yes,
just did my knitting with Gerald, and I have to confess, I didn't pick my knitting up once. We were so distracted talking.
See, that's what happens, though.
Yeah, I know.
Nate, I know you did knitting with Nate, and
oh, he doesn't knit.
Oh, so it was just you? Because didn't you do one that was a knitting with Nate?
Gerald.
Oh, it's Gerald.
Yeah.
But he actually knits.
Well, we both do, but I often get distracted. I can't. It's like walking and chewing gum, you know, knitting and talking. It's a little challenging. Yeah.
Well, I can't talk and do really anything else, honestly.
Talk and breathe.
Yeah, seriously.
I know.
Have you ever spoken in front of like groups of people, like actually presented things before?
Oh, you know, in a classroom. You know, you have to give a report or something, but I've never, maybe a little bit, you know, in front of a bunch of Girl Scout leaders. I mean, but I've never worked in the business world. I've always worked, but I've never done it like an official, wear a suit and sit at a table with executives. I've never had to do that. Wouldn't want to do that. So no.
I've had my share of, training people and giving presentations and doing things like that. I work out everything ahead of time, and then I'll have my notes, and I stand up there and I don't read a word of it because I just I can't read and talk.
But you know your stuff, so that's a really good indication. You know,
or I just wing it, start talking, and don't shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I could never do this because it would be intimidating, people watching, but there's nobody watching. You're looking at yourself.
Right. We're looking at each other or yourself.
Yeah. And when you're recording your own channel, you're looking at yourself. Now there's a certain level of horror about that, but in general,
we were just discussing face filters.
Yeah. It's not intent, which I did. And just in case anybody is in doubt, I didn't know what that was.
And she's like, "Oh, your skin looks so smooth." I'm like, "Face filter."
It's too late.
And I have my rosacea, my freckles, and my wrinkles.
Yeah, my cover is blown, so it's not nerve-wracking. I've never been one of those people who likes to have my picture taken. I'm always horrified by what I see. And I don't watch my videos unless I hear a rumor that there's a technical problem, and then I'm forced, you know, to go back and figure it out.
Yourself.
Yeah, but it's not intimidating to do this because especially if you're recording, because you just record it. And if you feel like you made a dog's dinner out of it, you don't have to upload it,
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're live.
No, I know. It's okay.
Surprise.
It's okay. I have no shame. I told you I have no shame.
I know, and me either. It's like, well, okay. I mean, the amount of times I've embarrassed myself in life, what am I going to do? Really?
Gerald and I just did a video, and I was in charge, and so I screwed up the live part, so it's a recording. And we were talking about, this is a weird train of thought, but we were talking about cartoon characters that we loved or hated. And I confessed the cartoon comic that I despise. And I think I've probably lost about half of my subscribers when they Who is
it? Maybe it's the same as mine.
Well, people have to go watch the video.
Oh, well, nice teaser. Well done.
I haven't uploaded it yet, though, so because it was right on the tail here. You were on the heels of doing that. So
I didn't really like a lot of them. I always thought, as a child, even I thought a lot of them were mean. And like I'd watch some just because it was all there was to watch. But I thought so many of them were mean, and I'm like, And I even as a child, this red hair came through. I boycotted Flintstones because I thought Fred was an asshole. And my mom's like, why don't you go watch cartoons? I'm like, I'm not watching him.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Like,
you know how old I am? You're not going to believe this. I'm old enough to remember when they had a contest to name their new baby. When they had Pebbles.
Pebbles?
They had a naming contest, and I was about 6 or 7. And I can remember racking my brain trying to come up with a name for this baby. And when they announced somebody had won, because, of course, I didn't enter my opinions. When they announced that the baby's name was Pebbles, I was just devastated that somebody was so clever and it didn't occur to me. It's like, oh, what a perfect name.
So funny.
Foolishness.
All I could think of was Fred was such a jerk and he was so mean, and I couldn't understand why he was the star of the show. And now here we are 50 years later with some asshole in charge of our country.
Well, you are, like, I know how old you are, so you were watching them reruns, right?
I don't know, probably. I'm 55, so I was born in 70.
Yeah, they were new in the late 50s, early 60s.
Well, but I was watching colored ones, though.
They were in color.
Weren't the originals black and white, or were they always color?
I don't know. My memory is in color. I have no idea. But I watched them then. I watched them when they were new, and I remember where I was living, and therefore I had to be a certain age, So maybe 61, 62, Pebbles was born. I wonder if there's a birth certificate for Pebbles Flintstone.
There's cereal.
No. Oh.
Awful. So you actually are immigrant from Ireland.
Don't tell Christy Nome. Yes.
So how old were you when you came to the U.S.?
3.
Do you remember?
I was old and I was old enough to have an accent, which is so funny.
You don't now.
No, I don't. And periodically I'll get somebody in the comments, somebody new, will say, "You're a fraud. You're not Irish. You don't even have an accent." And after I pick myself off the floor from laughing at them, it's interesting because when I hang around my relatives, I have an accent. It comes back to me.
Oh, interesting.
But I can't fake it. I can't put on an accent.
Right.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's probably one of the hardest accents, regional accents in the English language to do well. And there's a broad spectrum of types of Irish, the way you have Southern accent,
Southern, New England.
Right. It's the same thing in Ireland. I mean, you can listen to somebody speaking from Dublin or Galway and tell the difference. But I can sort of, not fully, but sort of. I totally tell the Northern accent. There's no doubt about that. And I can tell the Dublin accent. But there are regions in Dublin. I mean, it's a big place that, you know, if you have a certain kind of Dublin accent, you came from this neighborhood. So seriously. But there's a lot of bad imitation Irish accents out there.
Oh, yeah. So do you, why did your parents move here?
My father was the youngest of 13, and his oldest brother had emigrated. Pardon?
Catholic?
Yeah. I should read my Substack about that, about, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
My uncle had a store, and he kind of coerced my father into coming over and babysitting the store for 6 months. He had to go back to Ireland on some kind of business. And so we came here when I was 3 and my brother was a month old. I think about my poor mother. Can you imagine?
No.
1 month postpartum. I was a brat. Spoiled rotten brat.
What?
Oh my God. Well, my mother almost had a miscarriage with my brother. She was a nurse and she was working in a hospital. And early in her pregnancy, this huge old guy fell out of bed on top of her, crushed her on the floor. And she almost miscarried. They put her to bed for 7 months. So what are they going to do with me, right? They shipped me to go live with my grandparents. In Donegal, my grandfather worked for the Irish fisheries, and the fishing industry is nationalized, or at least it was then. I don't know now, but you know, it was a nationalized fishery. And he was a marine engineer, and he was working on a ship. And so they sent me to go live with them for 7 months. And my grandmother, I mean, every time I opened my mouth, she put a candy in it. I have pictures of me. I look like a beach ball with legs. Unbelievable. And I remember all of that stuff. I remember that time very, very well. But so I get back to my parents, and my mother gives birth. And right before she gave birth, her father died. My grandfather I'd been living with died. And she has this baby. So she's in mourning. She's got a spoiled rotten brat of a 3-year-old who is testing the boundaries because I haven't seen her in 7 months. She has a 1-month-old baby who my brother was they called it frail. I have no idea what that means. You should see him now. He's not frail. And here she goes to this country where she knows nobody. And the environment, you know, the weather is completely foreign. And it's just a completely different culture, and she has no friends and no support system. And you didn't just pick up the cell phone and call anywhere in the world. You couldn't do Zoom. Yeah. Imagine that. I feel sorry for her now.
And see, it was because your uncle talked your dad into doing this. So is his brother, right? So his family all still here and everything, or?
Oh, he's dead.
Does he have any other descendants, though?
Pardon me?
Does he have any descendants, like any other family or kids or anything? Like, do you have any other family from them?
He had 1 daughter. And,
okay. And no.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only relative I have in the country. And,
wow.
I don't even know where she lives. Yeah.
Do you want to go back?
Oh, I have been.
No, I mean permanently.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You gonna?
Pardon me?
Are you going to?
If things get bad enough, yes. But right now, it's a matter of my husband doesn't want to leave our children. Our 40-year-old children. I'm like, they're fine. They'll be fine.
We have Zoom and StreamYard and FaceTime.
Yeah. I just had a conversation with one of my brothers the other day, and he and his wife are moving back. And he wasn't even born there. He was born in the United States. But here's something that people need to think about. You couldn't get any whiter than this, right? And I was raised a Catholic, so technically Christian, right? So
Okay.
white Christian, right? So supposedly safe, right? And I'm a naturalized citizen. So I am an American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother in the same boat as I, and he's a naturalized citizen. The frail one, he's a naturalized citizen, right? So I have the brother that's moving back to Ireland, and I have 5 other siblings that were born before my father became an American citizen.
Mm.
You know what that makes them, right?
Trump's kids.
Yeah, yeah, really. Good one. So they could. He's uncomfortable. He's feeling really uncomfortable about it, and I don't blame him because I've thought about it myself. That there are probably 7 or 8 of us who are vulnerable to the vagaries of politics, which is really.
Well, if you adopt me, I'll move back with you.
I have a enormous amount of family back there,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother had no siblings, but she had, I don't know, 6 million cousins, and because of how big families, you know, the generations are sort of stretched out. My mother's first cousins are my age, and so they're like brothers and sisters more than just cousins. So a lot of contacts there. And of course, in as in many Irish families, we have 3 names, you know, first names. There's 6 Patricks and 7 Michaels. And, you know, you have a family gathering and you say a name and 20 people answer. It's hilarious.
That's where nicknames come in.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Wow.
My mother, my sister, my cousin, and my oldest daughter all have the same name. I can't believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Christmas.
Pardon?
That could be confusing at Christmas.
It could be, except we never see any of them because they're Yeah, it solves the problem nicely. Yeah.
I'm going to say hi to a couple people. It looks like, hi, Deb. And Aunt B says she finally made a live. YouTube is not sending notifications for mediums. We must comment and like to help our favorite channels. So, yes, please comment, like, share.
What did she say that they're not sending on purpose?
That's what it seems to be indicating. Yeah,
Is that why I'm not getting any notifications? It's intentional?
Could be. I know that they're not liking us, and there's a lot of things that, what are the words? What can I safely say? Blocked
censorship
isn't the word, but censor. Yeah.
You know, I am really, really tired of tiptoeing around vocabulary like we're all 10 years old and it'll shock our virgin ears. You know, I try to cover a book about a topical situation, and I have to wink and talk in circles around certain issues. I've been in YouTube jail 4 times now. I've spent a year, the equivalent of 12 months on probation for I don't even know what.
Who knows why? Yeah. Well, and the thing, what kills me is you've got these GOP podcasters that promote pew-pews and all the things.
I wondered about that.
And yet we can't show a tarot card with a drawing, and we have to give nicknames for everybody we talk about. And yeah, it's curious. But
I've started to put a lot of things on Substack because they don't censor.
A lot of people have. There's an echo on your end. Have you noticed that?
I hear the echo once in a while. Now I don't hear it at all. Stopped.
When I'm talking, it's echoing on yours.
I don't know.
Do you have your phone?
Pardon me?
Do you have your phone? Do you have your phone nearby by any chance?
Yeah, but it's not on. Well, actually, it's on. It's just black. It's dark. I'm turning it off right now.
I don't know.
Oh, come on now. God, I hate these stupid things. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's off.
No, I still hear it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I think sometimes you need to put in earbuds and then that stops it, but I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. We can deal with the echo. Tanya is joined us. Hi, Tanya. Rose Blue says my dad was number 7 of 8, and his dad was number 7 of 10. That's a lot. That's a lot of kids.
You know, when I went to school, I had 2 friends who came from families of 15.
Good Lord. I went to school with a few people that were one of 12.
Yeah.
I had this gal used to babysit my kids, and she was one of 12. I kid you not, that household was the best run household I've ever seen in my life. Everybody had, of course, it was before electronics and all that, but everybody had their own calendar. Everybody had their own voicemail box. Everybody had their chores and their shifts and who made dinner and who took Billy to soccer practice, and everybody contributed. It was amazing. I'm like, I could see why you would have a lot of kids if you run it like that.
Yeah, if you were organized. I'm the oldest of 12.
I just don't know how people afford it. I mean, I can barely afford me, let alone,
well, we were poor. We were certainly poor, and expectations were different. There were 5 of us girls in a bedroom. I mean, you didn't get your own bedroom.
Right.
And you wore hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
And you didn't get a new anything ever, I don't know. The expectation of material consumption was completely different. It might have been exactly the same in that time period as it is now, but in my world, it was completely different. And I was surrounded by families with a lot of children. So it was nothing unusual. I had one friend the whole time I was going to school who was the only daughter in a family of 2 children, and she had her own room, and it was like going to a museum to visit her house because it was like a foreign country or something. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Where am I? Yeah, that's so interesting.
Her mother used to take her shopping for clothes.
Did you look at her like, what is that like?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I had 2 older brothers, so I did have a lot of hand-me-downs, but I also had my own clothes because I was the only girl. So
right, lucky you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they wanted a girl, so they bought one.
Well, I was completely soured on the male gender when I was about, if it didn't happen before this, when I was about 14, when a handful of my brothers took my bicycle apart and then couldn't put it back together. That did it for me. I was like, oh, God, I have enough of them.
Yeah, I have stories, but I'll spare that since we're on a live forum. Yeah, I can operate very well in the male world, but also, ew. Although I had boys and I always kind of figured that was a good thing. It's like, okay, good. I know what to do with you.
It's funny. We have all girls, and both of us from day one wanted only girls. And people find that very hard to believe. They thought that my husband secretly wanted a boy, and he really didn't. Because neither one of us felt equipped to deal with it. I can remember one day we were standing in the living room watching kids walk home from school. We live in a small town, and it's kind of retro, They were walking home from school, and the little girls were in clusters of 2 and 3, and their heads are together, and they're chattering, and they're walking. And this sounds so gendered, but this is what we saw.
Right.
Little boys are banging things
everywhere,
around and hitting things and kicking each other. And my husband looked at me and said, I hope to God we never have any boys. But I was very offended because with each pregnancy, more and more people said to me, are you trying for your boy?
Yeah, people ask the dumbest questions.
I was offended.
Yeah. Well, I was a very, very large pregnant women because I'm short and my torso's like this big and I'm short. And so there was nowhere to go but out. And I had big babies too. I mean, I had 10-pound babies. So, I'm a runt and with a short torso and everything was out. By the end of the pregnancy, I was driving like this. I could not. It was huge. And so I was like in my second trimester already looking like I should be giving birth. And I'd be walking around, people, oh, you trying to walk that baby out? I'm like, no, I got 3 months to go. And they're like, oh, are you having twins? Nope, but thanks. I had a manager stop me and go, why do you get so big?
Oh, that's just rude.
Really? That's a
I
question.
That's rude. Okay, I mean, I can see a time and place where somebody might say, oh, twins, you try to be careful.
I'm ginormous, so I totally get it.
Yeah, but that was kind of rude.
That's totally rude. Yeah. Yeah. Now people, well, that, and it's like, it's not as common now, I don't think, but back then everybody's like, oh, can I touch your belly? And be like, I don't know who you are. Why am I, wait, you just want to feel me? Why? What's wrong with you?
I don't think anybody ever asked me that.
Really? Oh God, that would happen all the time. Can I touch your belly? I'm like, no.
Oh no. And I've always been terrible about doing this. I'll be out in public and somebody will have a newborn and I'm just like, oh, little baby. I love newborns,
I love babies. I love
control
babies.
myself that some people are not, they don't feel safe around crazy women who come after their babies.
Well, and nowadays I think even more so, because people are so like, you can't put a picture on social media and you can't, they're so guarded now that, they don't want anybody touching their baby and, they're all germaphobe now and everything else. It's like, oh my God, I think I was eating horse poop before I could talk.
Well, I'm of a certain age where I avoid children, so it's fine.
I just had my first grandbaby, so which
Oh, I was going to ask you. I forgot all about that. I'm sorry, I forgot. My mind went blank.
Okay.
How are things?
He's doing really well. So he was born at 29 weeks. It was crazy. The whole thing was nuts. It was an emergency C-section.
Is she okay?
She lost a lot of blood, but she got a transfusion and she's doing really well, actually. And he, they thought he was going to be well, first they didn't know if he was going to live, but then he did. And then he was doing fairly well, so they thought, but his oxygen levels dropped. And before he was born, they had a couple rounds of steroids because they suspected this could happen.
For his lungs.
To beef up his lungs, but he still had holes in his lungs. So basically acted like a sucking chest wound, essentially, because he couldn't get oxygen to fill up his lungs. So they intubated him and put chest tubes through his ribs on both sides.
Oh God.
And, that's what broke my heart. I'm like, oh my God, that killed me. But now he's got the intubation tube is out, the chest tubes are out. He has a little baby CPAP on his nose. It's so cute.
Is he a week old?
He's two now.
2 weeks old. Is he really, 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 really red?
He's not too bad. He actually looks really good considering how early he is. And he's going to be a redhead, which I'm absolutely thrilled about.
Oh, that's great. How much did he weigh?
He was 3 pounds 2 ounces.
I know it's small, but for a preemie, that's not bad. Yeah.
Well, considering his dad was 10 pounds.
Well, it's not a competition.
No, but also if that's what, if she was going to go full term and have a big baby, I mean, that's good because then he was bigger earlier, so that's, and I don't know if that helps or not, but one can hope, but he's doing really well. He nuzzled on her breast for the first time today. So that, and he did well, which was really good. He still has a little feeding tube. He hasn't, it won't be for another 2 or 3 weeks that
They'll get the
feed.
reflex. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he started sucking already and he's doing really well. So, but they want his body to be able to take it and all that. So there's different tests they have to do. I don't know.
It's crazy, wild how early they can intervene and create, the right.
Just out of her second trimester. That blows my mind. Blows my mind. Yeah. He was born on October 28th, so he's 2 weeks and 2 days old. But yeah, he actually has muscle tone. He looks like he has shoulders and biceps and everything. Like he has actual muscle tone. He's doing really well. They have medicine for him now to develop his lungs. That's not a steroid. It's another medicine that worked really well in getting his lungs healed up like within a week. And so he's doing very well. So
do you mind what's his name?
Roman.
Oh, I love that. Where did they get that?
I have no idea. They didn't really want to tell anybody until he was born and all that, So, yeah. But he's got 3 names, so which I'm not supposed to disclose all of them, but
that's okay. Yeah, no.
But I think So I call him my little Roman warrior.
Oh, it's so cute. Is it back to like heritage? Are they from Eastern Europe or their dad?
I think they just thought it was a good, strong name. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a nice name. Yeah. What was I going to tell you about picking names? Oh, I never knew what I was going to have. They didn't ultrasounds, they were around, but they weren't like crazy around the way they are now. Yeah. And I just didn't want to know. So we never knew until the baby came out what the baby was going to be, which was like Christmas. It was fun. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. Well, what's the plan? Somebody said to me, do you have the nursery ready yet? And I said, oh, move over in the bed. I said to my husband, I had 5 children and I never owned a crib.
Wow. Okay.
So we talk about how expensive it is to have children. Depends
on how you do it. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And that creates its own set of problems, though, because now looking back on my children's pictures when they were really little, even if up until 1 year old or so, I can't tell which child it is because they all wore the same clothes. They all wore the same outfits.
Well, I did that even with my boys. They were, 2 years apart, and I did hand-me-downs too, because, and they looked so much alike when they were little.
Exactly. And so I look at the clothes, and if my husband or I happen to be in the picture, I can usually figure out from the hair or how much we weigh what year it likely is, But other than that, I have no idea what kid I'm looking at. I know that's not very flattering for my children, but they all look the same.
For the most part, I know, there's some differences. There's a small period of time where they do look a lot alike back, like in the baby pictures, but they've been polar opposites since the day they were born. And my oldest one has always been like football player build, tank. And then my youngest one was always this tiny little bird.
That's kind of the fun of having more than one child. I mean, we're not going to get into all the discussions about why or some people can't. But in general, one of the fun parts of having more than one child is to see how differently they turn out, because they're born with their own personality. Mm-hmm. And doesn't matter what you do, they are who they are, and they are that person from the day they're born. Mm-hmm. It's truly incredible to me. I mean, my daughter, who's in her 40s, is exactly the way she was when she was a little pill at the age of 1. There's no difference. It's hilarious.
It's really interesting, is it? And even they're you think you have it figured out discipline wise with the first one, and then second one comes around, you're like,
Doesn't work.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
Everything.
What works for one doesn't work for the other. Yeah.
Yeah. One, I could have beat him until he was dead. It wouldn't have mattered. His greatest punishment.
Well, would have mattered for you because he'd be visiting you in the state prison.
Right. It's like, the first one, you could threaten him with, getting him in trouble, and that's all you needed to do. The other one, it didn't matter, but isolating him, like putting him in timeout, that was the worst crime you could do. It's so interesting.
We homeschooled, and one of the big challenges with that was that it's also true for education. What worked as an approach in reading or math or something for one kid had no bearing on the other child. Oh my God, you rip your hair out trying to figure out how to handle it. Yeah, but
what motivates one does not motivate the other, and
yeah.
Let's see. We've got Mangled Unicorn. Hi there. Welcome. I love that name.
That's hilarious.
I know. And let's see. Rose Blue, German Catholic farming families. I found 150 with my first and last name on Facebook 10 years ago. Oh my gosh.
My God. I bet I know.
So if anybody's trying to find you, good luck. You have anonymity.
The nuns who taught me in school were from German families from farms in the Midwest. I bet I know some of her relatives.
Probably.
Yeah.
Funny. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Steve Squires. Hi, beautiful, superior white goddess queens. I like you. How are you doing? I really respect you. Well, that's nice. I could be a goddess queen. I like that. Rose Blue is 2 months early and was 2 pounds. Yeah.
Oh, little peanut.
I know, tiny little peanut. Mangled Unicorn. My son was 3.5 pounds, 2 months premature, 1 month in NICU, all grown up now. Yeah, he's gonna be so Roman was due January, it's like 7th or 9th, I can't even remember now. And he was born October 28th. So they plan on keeping him until like 3/4, like it depends on how he's doing. At one point they'll say, we like to keep him until their due date, but at the same time, if he's able to nurse and if he's able to hold his temperature and if he's able, if he's fine.
Yes, gaining weight, breathing well.
Then they may let him go before Christmas. So we'll see.
That'll be such a nice Christmas for them.
Yeah, it'll be nice. So he's doing really well, though. Rose Blue says, I remember Mom lined us up. Each took a bite of soap. She got the guilty liar. Oh, yeah. See, now I used to get the bar of soap from my mom, and she would take it and she would scrape it on your back teeth. This didn't take that well, and I'd go up into the bedroom and wipe my teeth off on her pillow.
Very juvenile delinquent. Oh my God.
Like, well, you're going to put soap in my mouth. I'm going to put it on your pillow.
That's gross, though, that they would do
that.
You're
going to get soap in your mouth. Do you ever have that? Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, my parents just defaulted immediately to corporal punishment. There was no subtlety.
No.
Yeah.
There was that, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I remember my mom. So my mom's. Her threat was always the wooden spoon. I'm going to get the wooden spoon, and she went after my brother. So we grew up on 3 acres, and they used to have this big grassy yard, and there was a big, huge cedar tree, right, in a section of it. And she went after my brother, and he just kept running around the tree. She couldn't get him.
Couldn't speed up enough to catch him.
Then she got so mad. She's like, come here right now. And so he stopped. He looked, he picked her up, put her over his shoulder, carried her in the house and sat her down on the couch and said, now you be good.
How old was he?
Old enough to do that. I don't even remember.
Wow. Well, my kids think they're hilarious, and they have this little routine they do, and I'll be even, now as adults, and I'll be giving them a hard time about something, and one of them will say, "No more wire hangers," and the other one will say, "We love you, mommy dearest."
Oh, geez. Oh my gosh.
They're hilarious.
Yeah, they think they're funny.
Yeah, in their own
Don't
mind.
say that stuff in public. Well, then there was my oldest son. This was great. Do you remember the DARE program?
I know of it.
Okay. It was the encourage people to not drink and do drugs and all that, right? And so they had the police officers come and talk to the kids in school with the DARE program. And then they wanted all the kids to rat out people they knew.
You're kidding me.
Nope. And so my oldest son, because I will have an occasional cocktail, and so did my now ex. We'd have our cocktail once in a while. We didn't drink every night or anything, but every once in a while we would have.
Oh, you don't have to explain to me.
And no, but he told them my parents are drug addicts. Because he's in third grade, he's 8 years old, and they just got done explaining to them that alcohol is a drug. And if you know people who drink, they're taking drugs. And so he tells them, my parents are drug addicts. They called me to school. Your son just told us you're a drug addict. I'm like, did he now? Well, that's fun.
Did you have to go prove you weren't? Did you have to take a blood test?
They saw me every day because I volunteered all the time there, right? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you or how to prove that, but there's no track marks. If I'm an alcoholic, I'm very functioning.
We had a terrifying brush with something like that. Now we homeschooled, so they were never in any of those programs. Uh-huh. But before that, when my oldest daughter, so she was actually our only child at the time, was maybe there were two of them. She was probably about three or four. One morning, my husband was sitting at the kitchen table with her, and there was a carton of milk. And you know how they used to have public service messages on the cartons of milk. Sometimes it was missing kids. Sometimes it was say no to drugs, whatever. And apparently, I heard all about this later. Apparently, they had this in-depth discussion about, well, what are drugs? And he explained, well, what is that? And he had little packages, and so he's science, he's getting all into it. So later on that day, we live in a small town, and there's a general store. So he takes her to the general store. He's looking for, I don't know, nails or something. So they're wandering around in the store, and they went down an aisle where they had canning products, mason jars and big old cans. And one of the things they had was this big bin of, I guess, like that stuff that keeps moisture out of you pack something up and you get a little package that you put in there, and it absorbs the moisture. Yeah. Okay. So she looked in this and she goes, "Oh, look, Dad, look at all the packages of cocaine at the top of her lungs." And he's like, "What?" It just cracked me up. I mean, she's 44 now, and I still think that's probably the most hilarious story of her life.
Well, of course, if you're like, be quiet and hush him out, that just makes you look
I wasn't there. I am not guilty. So he had to be careful with me. I told him, kids, they're very literal.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's got the stories. I still remember when my ex was building. He was trying to extend our patio outside the house, and my youngest one, my oldest one. I was changing the youngest one's diaper, and I was in, on the changing table and doing that. My oldest one, he was about 3 at the time, comes toddling in and uses the F word and goes. And I go, you mean duck? He goes, nope, I mean
What was he talking
the
about?
F word.
Yeah, but why?
Because my ex is out there swearing up a storm.
Oh, so he's just repeating what
Out
he
there.
heard.
He's
Yeah.
toddling in so proud and goes, and I'm like, and mom brain is like, how can I redirect this? How can I redirect this? I'm like, you mean duck? He goes,
you have
no.
to be so careful because
And he just repeated it, and that's all I'm walking out there going, so just so you know, we have a little mockingbird, and he's repeating what you're saying.
everything he hears. Yeah. And you have to be really careful. But with some children, if you tell them not to do it, that's just encouragement. So you have to couch it in such a way that there are safe parameters. So what I always told my kids was, those words are only for at home when no one else is around.
Oh, that's what I ended up doing.
In public, they're grown-up words. And then I, lied to them and told them you could go to jail.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. I used to do, so again, my oldest one, when he was about three, three is always a fun age.
I really like 3 and 4 year olds. 3 and 4 and 5, I really like. Yeah, that's a good age.
So he's about 3 and he wasn't getting his way. And he goes, I'm going to run away. And I said, oh, well, okay. And I said, well, before you leave, make sure and take off all your clothes. And he goes, what? I said, well, just make sure you take off all your clothes before you leave. And he goes, why? I go, well, they're mine. I bought them. He goes, I can't. And I said, well, you can. Just take off your clothes and then you can leave. No.
That's so great.
I go, well, okay, then I guess you're going back to your room.
There's probably a whole subset of child psychologists who are writing reports about us right now.
Oh, I have no doubt.
When my oldest was 7 and my second oldest was 5, my oldest got the opportunity to go to her very first Brownie Girl Scouts sleepover camp. And
okay.
the level of excitement around here, you couldn't have believed it. But the 5-year-old didn't understand why she couldn't go. They were best friends. They spent all their time together. Why she couldn't go, and had to explain to her, right? You can't go. So off goes the oldest, and child number 2 looks at me and she goes, "Well, I'm running away from home." And I said, "Okay, you want me to help pack your bag?" She says,
for both of us, okay.
Like, do us all a favor, go.
All right. Send me your clothes.
She packed her backpack and she's, just furious, right? She packs her backpack and she goes out the front door. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I had a newborn. I'm thinking, am I going to have to follow this kid down the street? I was like, and I look out the window and she walked out the front door and she walked around the corner of the house and hid in the lilac hedge. And she just stood there for I don't know, probably 20 minutes. I don't want to exaggerate. And then she just came back in and it was all forgotten. It was so funny. It's so cute.
I threatened to run away when I was 5. I was mad at something. And this is actually where I got the idea of what to do with my brother or to my son.
Do you remember where you thought you were going to go?
Oh, I didn't know, but I remember leaving. So I grew up in the country. So I knew that I needed my blanket because I might get cold. And I think, who knows what else I brought with me. I don't even know. And so I think a doll or stuffed animal or something. And so I'm toddling down the road and, it's down a gravel road and it's about a quarter of a mile until you get to a main road. And you kind of go down and then you did this corner and then, another 1/8 of a mile and then you got to the main road. And I remember I turned the corner and I thought, this is going to be a long journey. I should take a nap. And so I spread out my blanket and I laid down on the gravel road to take a nap. And my brother comes up and he goes, what are you doing? Get up and get home.
I find that admirable. admirable. I think it's a certain kind of personality, because it does take some sense of independence and courage to do that as a small child. I would no more have run away from home than oh my God, no, I was, no. And I don't camp, and I didn't.
Well, see, and I do, you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
By
So
myself.
if I couldn't run away to, like the Hyatt Regency, I wasn't interested. I'm kidding. I mean, but there's no way I would go with no final destination of comfort and safety in sight. I would not have done it. Not adventurous.
Representative of my current life, though, because I never know what I'm doing or where I'm going. I just do it.
Well, that goes back to what we said earlier. You have your personality from the very beginning. I'm not adventurous. I've never been adventurous. Yeah. Would never do that ever. Yeah.
I'm still a disaster who really just wants to take a nap.
Disaster looking for an opportunity to happen.
Mangled Unicorn is hopping off to go mod a show. Thanks for joining us. And Shannon, you're on here too. Hi, Shannon. Shannon's my dear friend also. And then had quite a few. Oh, later, Unicorn, Rose Blue says. Yeah. So how did you get on your spiritual journey?
I have no idea. This started in I've always been interested in all this stuff. I was raised in a very religious family. I mean, I served 17 years hard time in Catholic schools, kindergarten through college, Catholic schools. So you couldn't avoid it. But one of the beauties of going to a Jesuit university is that the Jesuits are kind of the rabble-rousers of the Catholic Church. They fancy themselves the intellectuals. And so they're really broad-minded. And you get a good education with them because you get exposed to all schools of thought. It's not like in some religions, there's an isolating from other thought. They're the opposite, totally the opposite. And my family was always really psychic. It wasn't a topic of conversation that anybody cared about. It was an accepted fact. Like, he's good at music, she's good at art, those three have ESP, that kind of thing. It was just what it was, right? And it was generational, and cultural. Right? So you put those two things together, and I've always had an interest since I was very, very young in ETs, the story of Betty and Barney Hill. I was reading that book that when it came out, The Incredible Journey, I was reading that immediately. I was reading books about Edgar Cayce and Jean Dixon, and I don't know, always drawn to it. I went through an entire period of first being very religious because I was raised that way as a child, then rejecting all of it for various reasons because of the hypocrisy, and then being stone cold atheist, I don't believe anything, and then being what I called cautiously optimistic agnostic, because I didn't want to piss off any God that might exist, so I was real careful, right? And I would not be able to label myself right now, but I would say that I'm open-minded and not arrogant enough to think that we're what it is, all there is. But specifically this, you remember the unfortunate medical event that we went through in early 2020 that we can't name because I get in trouble every time I say the word on YouTube. So I didn't have access to regularly scheduled mainstream news. And I had only one opportunity to watch it. And then if it was over, if I missed it, then I had to wait, And I wanted to know, and this sounds terrible, but remember when they were keeping a tally of deaths?
Yeah.
And I was curious to know how bad it was. It was during the worst part, And so I thought to myself, God, where can I get that information? I didn't want to call people and bother them. And I don't do social media. I don't do computer stuff at all. But it occurred to me, maybe it's on the computer. And then I thought, I wonder if they do that on YouTube. And I went on YouTube, and I think I typed in predictions for, the event. And what I got back was all these tarot readers and psychics. And I went, oh,
hey,
that's on YouTube. Oh, this is right up my alley,
Right.
So I started watching, ghost stories and people predicting things and channeling and reading tarot cards. And I thought, reading tarot cards, I've always wanted to do that, and I've never bothered. So I ordered a deck of tarot cards, and I started doing it with them, and and started reading the books and learned how to do it. How I started my channel, I know this sounds like I'm making this up. I don't remember. I decided I was going to do it. I don't know how I would have come to that decision, because that's not in my nature to be, out there. And I'm not technologically, I'm very ignorant. And so I started trying to do it. I thought, well, I'll do it step by step. And so I approached one daughter and said, can you help me get a YouTube channel going? And once she got done laughing at me, she tried to help, and we spent a few hours. And at the end of that time, she was mad. I was crying, and I had no YouTube channel. And this happened 5 days in a row. 5 days in a row. Finally, the last day, I hit on the right daughter. And she was very patient, and she helped me get it all set up. And when it was all set up, she said to me, Mom, I said, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. You have no idea. She said, Mom, I had no idea how ignorant you are about computers. And I said, yeah, well, think about it, though. Think about when I was in college, they weren't a thing. We had a computer in college, but it was one big, gigantic thing, ceiling to floor. It extended all the way down this gigantic room, one computer. And it was about 150 degrees in there. And nobody used it. It was used for the school for something.
Cool.
I don't know.
Had one. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have it.
And
no.
we didn't get a computer in our house until the mid 2005 maybe or something. Not a thing for me, right?
Yeah.
And it's like learning a foreign language. Like if I wanted to learn Russian, but I didn't know the American alphabet, that's my level of comprehension. There's the presumption that you have a baseline set of skills and understand a baseline set of terminology. And if you don't, it's almost impossible to learn it without actively taking a class, which I don't have access to, right? Because you can go on YouTube and you can type in, how do I do this? And then there's a half an hour video of some 20-year-old going 100 miles an hour, and I have to put it on hold, and first sentence, put it on hold, pull out my phone and look up every term in the first sentence, write down what it means, go back and listen to the second sentence, and it's just a nightmare. So I told her this, and she said, well, Mom, you know what it's like? Watching you deal with the computer, it's like watching apes pick up ants with sticks. They really are very funny. So
thanks, dear.
She's right. I don't deny it. She's right. So got it all set up, and the day it went active, January 6th.
Oh, Jesus.
And I thought to myself, I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't make the correlation. But a while ago, I don't know what I was doing, and I saw January 6th, really? Whoa. Wow. Because that's what I wanted to do, was political tarot. So I took that to be a sign. So then I started doing it, and it was, I don't know how that happened. It was an accident.
I never had any intention of having a YouTube channel ever. And again, I'm not a techie person either.
Well, look at this. Look at this whole thing. You're doing.
I I feel, and yet, but before we started the show, we're both like, how do we do this and that? I don't know. I can't figure like I can do basics. I can't do well, and then they changed, StreamYard updated and changed. That's why when I first went on there, you saw like another window. It's like, I don't know what they did and why they gave me options. I don't want options. I just want to do what I want to do.
I actually had the instructions step by step written out. Mm-hmm. And I put it in one of those plastic sleeves and had it right in front of me. And for the first year, I had to look it up every single time. Mm. Now I'm at the point where I kind of know, I've kind of got muscle memory of what buttons to push.
Right.
But when they change things, I'm lost. I have to start all over again. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. I know. I hate it. Oh my gosh. Well, do you want to do, for giggles, before we go, do you want to do a card pull? Do you have cards?
Sure. Yeah. Oh. Of course. What do you want to do?
Oh, before we do that, I have another question though. Diving into your heritage, do you since I'm making a large assumption, and do you have your lineage that goes like clear back to when rocks were soft, or like do you know how far back you go? And were you guys always like, did you get into like paganism and Celtic, the whole Celtic witch thing? I mean, is that your heritage?
Well, I would assume if you go back far enough, it would be, because
I mean, it's the natural evolution of,
Right. I mean, Catholicism was an oppressor's religion that was imposed upon people. And, the whole trope of St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland.
Yeah.
Well,
it's beating down the pagans, and
it's a metaphor for getting rid of the goddess religion, is what that
is.
Yeah.
But do you know if you guys were like, do you have any? Because it was very much a female-led culture. I mean, the crones were a thing. So I mean, do you know if you have like, crone healer?
I don't know, like, specific people, what they might have done. I know back to my great-grandmother, who was the mother of 7 boys, whose husband died when she was 7 months pregnant with her last son, my grandfather.
Wow.
And she supported them by cleaning church floors, scrubbing church floors in this small town where they lived. But my grandmother and my grandfather on my mother's side grew up next door to each other. And I used to joke, I used to tell my children, we have the most boring genealogy in the world. I know all my relatives. In fact, my cousin was giving me a hard time the last time I was in Ireland. He calls me the Yank. And he says to me, so what do you think? Do you think you're going to investigate your Irish roots while you're here? And I said, well, I have to tell you, now that I really know all of my Irish relatives, why would I want to dig up the dead? He's like,
you're authentic.
Yeah. I know who most of them were. Like, I know them. And like, we have to go visit the graveyard and clean the graves when I go visit. I know them, There's no secrets about who the family is in the background. Like I said, they grew up together next door. Mm-hmm. But I told my daughters, extrapolating from what I know about history, and specifically Irish history, I'm not going to bother getting my DNA done. I can tell you what it is right now. Are you kidding me? I said that we are Irish. I'm Irish. Now, their father is part English and part German. He has a German last name, right? Which is interesting for my karmic background. But anyway, I we if you do your DNA, this is what you're going to find out. You're half Irish, and you're half partially Irish, some English and some German. That I guarantee you. So you're more than 50% Irish. And then you've got Northern European of some kind going on there, right?
You're a potato.
So pardon?
You're a potato, honey.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the Irish part, you'll find that you're going to reflect Norsemen, Nordic blood,
Yep.
because they came down and
Yep.
pillaged for 1,000 or more years.
Mhm.
Dublin, Limerick,
Mhm.
Wicklow, Wexford, all those towns were built by Vikings.
So it was most of Scotland, wasn't it?
Correct. And in fact, the farther north you go, the redder the hair. So there is red hair in Ireland
Yes.
from the Viking invasions.
Yep.
It's not Irish, it's Viking.
Yeah.
But not as much as there is in Scotland, who are closer to them and had to put up with them more, you know.
Yeah.
So I made this prediction. That's what you're going to see. Mostly Irish. A lot of the opposite leftovers will be Norse, with a little bit of English and German thrown in. So my daughter gets her DNA done, and she posted it in a text. We have a family text that they never give it a minute to cool off, you know. So they put this DNA thing in there, and immediately all 5 of them responded the exact same thing. It cracked me up. Every single one of them said, "Oh my God, we are so white." So guess what it was? Almost entirely Irish, and almost entirely from the same place in Ireland, with a healthy scattering of Viking, Norse blood, and a little bit of English and German.
Yeah, well, you called it.
Well, it's not hard if you know history. And therefore, given where in the country they're from, you're going to see people in my background who, yes, were Catholic and probably Presbyterian if they came closer from the north. But eventually, if you go back far enough, you're going to find
the pagan witches.
That's right. That's right. Because
that's what it was.
That's what the Irish were. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a
so
mystery.
I am adopted, and as far as I know, and one of these days I do want to do my genealogy because I have a theory and I want to see if I'm right. But as far as I know, Irish, Scottish, French, and English. Okay, so still pretty potato. And my theory, because I found out that my Scottish clan is most well known for 3 things: being horse thieves, and being religious and political dissidents. Hello.
Well, isn't that Scottish?
That's why I said my Scottish clan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my theory on how the French the French and the English got in there is they were probably arrested or trying to escape arrest and went to France, or they were arrested and sent to prison in England, you know, that kind of thing. That's my theory. Is there
also don't forget the Norman invasion. William the Conqueror, 1066, came over from France to the coast of England and ended up, you know, so there's a lot of French blood mixed in with the English.
I was,
you know, there's no such
and they were probably, you know, trying to escape.
That's that too. There's really no such thing as anybody who's 100% anything unless you're indigenous from an isolated community, because of the migration of populations that has come and gone, the migration of people's, it's throughout history, and we're all, and then there's the taking of slaves, and then there's war prisoners, and there's just, you know, close encounters. You know.
Yep.
It's interesting. Yeah. I will be interested to see what you find out when you get your DNA done. It'll be fascinating. Mine's super
I haven't done it. I want to one of these days. I keep saying I want to, but then I literally don't have time to do anything. So I don't know what I think I'm going to do.
Ask somebody to buy you a kit for Christmas.
So I searched and found my birth family many years ago. I was vice president of an adoptive rights group who used to help people search and find before there were computers and DNA and all. Yeah. It was literally detective work. Yeah. And so my birth father never married or had any other kids, as far as we know. They're probably scattered everywhere, knowing him, but as far as we know, nothing he officially knows about. My birth mother got married and had 3 other girls. One of them, she doesn't want, I don't have any contact with them. She wants nothing to do with me. So, but one of them I made myself known to, and she and I do communicate. And what's funny is so I grew up the only redhead. There were no redheads in the family, but I was the only one adopted also. So there's that.
Oh, you're the redheaded stepchild. Oh
literally. Yeah. How many jokes have I heard about that? Right. And then my sisters do not have red hair, but their daughters do. And I love that. And anyway, so I was telling, I don't even know where I started with that. I was telling my sister about, my theory and all of that. And she's like, oh yeah, that's entirely possible.
Well, just you want to find out your DNA.
So we connected back in our 20s, and then our mother found out and she put a stop to it. And so we lost contact for another like 30 years. And then just recently we've reconnected, and it just so happened that she had done a subscription to one of the DNA things, right? And so she's like, oh well, that's so weird that you're contacting me, because I was just looking at you. Like, and she goes, well, I'll show you what I found. There's a picture of our grandmother, my birth mother's mother, who died when my birth mother was young. She and I, spitting image.
Oh, isn't that weird?
Could be twins.
Wow. Oh, wow.
She died like in the 40s, like so the picture.
Was she young when she died? Young?
Yeah, she was fairly young. Yeah.
What happened to her?
A lot, but
okay, sorry. You too.
No.
I get it.
Well, okay. No, ultimately breast cancer, I think, is what got her. But she also was. There was a lot, and when you know her history. So as piecing together what my sister knew from what our birth mother told her, because my birth mother didn't like her mother. There's all kinds of.
There's dysfunction that's generational.
There's a lot of dysfunction.
Yeah.
But piecing it together, I'm like, she didn't have a choice in any of this stuff. Women didn't have options, right? And so, what did they do to cope? They drank.
Listen, let me tell you something. It shocked my kids. Recently, I told them, I was in my 20s before I could legally get a mortgage or a business loan or open my own credit card.
Couldn't do that till the 70s.
Or that's right. I mean, that's my age, right?
Yes.
And when I was a tiny bit younger in the late 60s, but I was a good girl. I couldn't have access to birth control. Even married couples could not legally get access to birth control. Married couples. And then, of course, not single women, for sure. That's why they used to sell condoms behind the counter at the pharmacy. They weren't free for the taking. I think that's shocking for young people. I don't think they fully comprehend what it was like, how repressive it was, and how recently it was that repressive.
In my lifetime. And it's, and whenever I mention that, it's funny. There's always somebody who pipes up, oh, well, my great aunt, did that. You might be the anomaly. And there were circumstantial situations that was allowed to happen. But for the most
part. Oh, you mean like a woman who owned a business or something?
Or something.
Sure, but if you look at the paperwork, there's a man's name on it.
Right. You couldn't have your own bank account.
Yeah, have a lawyer or a guardian.
You couldn't have your own mortgage. You couldn't have your own business. We didn't have a choice in the matter.
You had to get a second signature. Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, we used to have this little library of bookshelves, and my mom had some from when she was in high school. She had a home ec book. And I grew up amongst boys, and I was bound and determined to be just as tough as the boys. You're not going to tell me I can't do something they can do and all that stuff, right? And I remember I refused to learn to cook.
You're not missing anything.
Why am I having to cook? Why doesn't he cook? He could cook. Why do I have to cook? That was me. And so anyway, I remember pulling out a home ec book and just flipping it open. And what I flipped it open to was when your husband, this is a high school book, when your husband gets home from work, he's tired. He's been working all day. He hasn't just been home with the family. It's your job to make sure you have a fresh, clean dress, that your makeup is fresh and that your hair is done and that his dinner is ready to go. And when he comes in, don't talk to him unless he wants to be spoken to because he's tired. He doesn't need any more to worry about. I kid you not. I read that and I took it up to my mom and I said, this is
what is this BS?
And she's like, yep. And I go, why are we not burning it? like that's what we should be burning. She's like, yeah. And she
when I wanted to go to college and I needed my father's signature on my application for a student loan.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sign it because his response to me was, what do you need to go to college for? You're just going to get married and have children anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was even maybe 2 weeks ago. I saw a thing where it was a right-wing media. So, take the source, right? And somebody was pointing this out that they actually said I think it was a rally that was happening in Utah. So, take that source. But, am I right? You're really here just to find your husband. And they're speaking to a room full of young women.
Yeah.
What killed me is because it was a right wing, little rally. They all were like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God.
So you remember the tragic event that I don't advocate. I find it repellent that happened to a certain young man speaking a couple months ago. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
All right. Better not to name his name.
No, we say
head of an organization, TPUSA.
Yeah.
The initials.
Yeah.
He would go around and he would speak on high school and college campuses.
Mm-hmm.
And amongst other things, now the reason I know this is I listen to a lot of political podcasts when I'm walking. Mm-hmm. And I had the great misfortune to hear him having a conversation on a podcast.
I think it might have been one of his, actually.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
That's why I
sure it was. Because wait till you hear what he said.
Okay.
So, hold the thought of him talking to another character. I heard a recording of him speaking at a group. So these this whole thing was a progressive podcast giving examples of what his belief systems were. And they were showing him in his own voice. So he's talking at a rally at a university and he would take questions from the audience. And so this young woman gets up and says, it's hard to juggle my career desires and wanting to have children. Do you have advice? Basically is what she asked. His response to her was, your best bet right now, turn around, leave this school, go home, have children, and feel fulfilled. So that's the first thing he said. So he's on this other conversation being recorded with Nick Fuentes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about capital punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And this recently deceased young man says, the way to prevent crime is to make capital punishment public. And I believe that we should have public executions in the ballpark like they do in Afghanistan and Iran. They have the football stadium and they'll do once a month or something, they'll do public executions. He said we should do that. And we should require all children 12-year-old and older mandatory that they attend.
Yeah, Rose Blue is pointing out he was the one that said, your body, my choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, CK is also the one that said all of those grade school children who got pew-pewed were child actors, and that it was okay.
Oh, that whole
That
thing.
was okay
Yeah.
because, sacrifice needed to be made to keep the Second Amendment.
I have no words for that because it's beyond comprehension. And certainly if you profess to be a Christian, to me, by definition, that means that you are guided by the words of Christ. And I want to know where in the Sermon on the Mount it advocates this kind of BS. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
But then, being a student of history as you are, they're exactly following history.
Well, that's true. That's true. It's a cycle, isn't it? Let's pull out the Wheel of Fortune. That's what's going on. So what, do we have a question?
So kind of shifting gears a little bit. Economics.
Oh God. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hold on here. I had it out and then I folded it up. Just a second. There it is. So Dow Jones expected that just during the month of October, we were going to have 60,000 jobs lost. The F-45 administration is not releasing numbers because why would we do that? And Goldman Sachs is reporting job numbers of 50,000 jobs lost in October. They're declaring, like on MSNBC, that there is a trucking recession already. It's great they want us to manufacture, but we can't import different parts to manufacture. And that's how it's done, like it or not. And people are not buying, and we're not getting people visiting the country. And, we're in an economic tailspin. Thank you to current research. So,
what did you say? It's an echo.
What I saw when I was channeling, probably about maybe a month and a half ago, was that I saw probably after the first of the year there was going to be a dip, but it was going to come back. Right? But there was going to be a sharp drop and then come back. But I haven't really looked at it since then. And so I was thinking maybe doing a reading on what is the current energy for economic outlook for people.
Okay. Now I am probably the worst thing that you could ask me about is economics, because I don't know anything about economics. I have very strong feelings about the larger moral and philosophical concepts, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I never, ever, ever predict anything about money. If I knew anything at all about money, I'd be a whole lot better off right now. So, I really don't. But I certainly have opinions about the direction we're going and why we're going there. So,
what I kind of want to take the take of not necessarily specifics, because we don't give financial advice and all that. But as far as overall general outlook and awareness, what is good for people to know? What is what does it say that it's good for people to be aware of and for people to know? What do the cards say?
Yeah, I've got a nice little narrative going here.
Okay. You can go when you're ready. It always takes me a bit to shuffle. So
okay, yeah. So we start out with the Empress, which is talking about the past post-war period of 70 roughly years of relative stability, relative comfort. We have become complacent. When somebody's an empress, what do you think of? Somebody who's pretty satisfied with their position in life, a lot of comfort, a lot of access, a lot of excess, and no particular desire to change anything up. But then we are in a place of a loss of moral wisdom, a loss of what do you call it? What's the word I want? Introspection. The ability to look within and connect to a moral compass and access truths larger than ourselves. What this is saying is money isn't everything. There's more to our existence. Well, I hope it isn't. There's more to our existence, and we've lost sight of that. We've lost sight of it. We are blithely going down a road that is not necessarily going to take us to a good place. I've got the Four of Wands reverse. This is an overturning of institutions. It's an upheaval of the structures that hold us up. I get the Ace of Cups reversed, a lack of compassion. And ultimately, at the bottom of the deck, I get the Four of Pentacles. So this is a story of self-satisfaction and complacency, a loss of a moral compass, a loss of compassion. We're going down a road where we have no compassion for other people, and our institutions are in upheaval. So if I had to make a prediction from that, I would say we are following a path of capitalism run rampant, where corporations are more important than human beings, and where a very small number, and this is a historical repetition, very small number of people are benefiting and have their hands on the reins of power, and they're not going to let go. That's what this is. No. They're going to hang on to every penny they can get their paws on, to the absolute destruction of our institutions, of our structure that holds us secure. And that's the road we're going on. I don't see anything telling me that that's going to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I've got. Right out of the gate, Two of Pentacles. So people are having to juggle everything right now. Do I buy milk or do I buy my medicine? Do I buy bread or do I put gas in my car? Like what, there's a lot of chaos going on behind this guy, and pentacles are earth energy. So pentacles are going to be money, resources, politics, medicine, anything that we need to function in this world is earthly energy. And this guy's just like, everything's up in the air. I'm doing the best I can to juggle and survive amongst the chaos. Crossing this is a nightmare situation.
I can't. What is it? I can't see.
Your Nine of Swords.
Okay.
So it's a nightmare situation. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, I see now. Yeah.
Okay. It's not good for a lot of people. Or a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are like, what, especially with the government shutdown and all of that. And some people have some money, some people haven't gotten any. There's a lot of people that are still without jobs. I mean, just October, 50,000. Just in October, 50,000 jobs lost. Just in October. So this is the I can't remember who I was listening to the other day. They were saying since his presidency has begun, we've had more job losses. It hasn't been this dramatic since the Great Depression.
Oh yeah, that's gonna get worse. I mean, one thing you're gonna find out about me is that I carry my own little dark cloud over my head. I'm so sorry, but I always get the darker side of every reading. It's I think that's my job, Yeah. And nobody wants to hear it, and that's okay. I understand. I don't like to know it either. But this is continuing. This is not getting better. Yeah.
Right. So that's what's crossing the struggle it's a nightmare. And nobody likes dealing with this, and
people can't sleep.
No. And so my generation was the first generation to not do as well as the parents before them.
Yeah.
Right. And my kids, some of, that generation, some of them are not doing as well as my generation. And it's not getting better. This is, it's so hard for even Gen Z right now to even get out and find a job. Even if they're, going to college, they still can't get a job and they're in debt, right? It's like, there's nothing to be had. You're not, the average age to buy a home is like, it's either 34 or 36.
Yeah.
And most aren't even doing that because why? You can't afford to keep it up, right?
Can't afford the taxes on it.
You can't afford taxes. You can't afford to paint it. You can't afford, you can't afford anything. So why bother? It's not considered an investment. Great. You get equity, but you can't do anything with it, right? So we've stopped progressing as a functional society, economic. Right. So the foundation of everything I get is the Ace of Pentacles. So this says there is a potential new beginning with resources and economics and politics and all of that. Now, before we went live, Helen and I were chatting about, even if F-45 takes a dirt nap, we still have an issue to deal with. And the issue is, Project 2025 is global. So even if they take their focus off of the United States for a little bit, they just turn their little snake head and they focus on the other countries around the world, So it's still an issue. But I do think that once he takes a dirt nap, that we can start to heal a little bit and we can start to move forward with some plans a little bit. And I think Election Truth Alliance, getting a handle on our elections and all of those things, we're going to have some kind of new beginnings for politics, new beginnings for economics, new beginnings for things. I do think we're going to be more equitable in the future, but probably not until like 2035. It's going to be out a little bit. But also, there's some illumination that's coming. There's a lot of people that are going to see the light and make some different choices. So I think a lot of the megas are turning against F-45, but there's still a lot that are they're in a cult and they're not going to change. But
well, that card, I didn't know this. Nate told me this a couple of months ago, and it's interesting because it changes my relationship. I always thought that card was like a really good card, but it can also represent enlightenment and toxic masculinity.
Oh, I didn't know what the toxic masculinity.
I didn't know that either.
So the sun is a male energy.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it in the terms of the mythology of it. It makes sense. I think that people need to not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not trying to be Eeyore, but I think it pays to be fully informed and cautious. And whatever happens to the inhabitant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is, I'll say, irrelevant. And I don't mean that in a casual sense. What I mean by that is we still have insurmountable problems. We have what I call the tech bros of South Africa. They are proponents of the Dark Enlightenment of Curtis Yarvin. Mm-hmm. They have taken over the reins of power. Who do you think is pulling? What's his name with the beard and the sofa? Yeah. Who do you think's pulling his?
I call him Couch Boy, but yes.
Oh, Couch Boy! There we are. We think alike. Mm-hmm. We have a huge obstacle. The Orange Man is the first obstacle, but there are a number of other huge obstacles to achieve before, after that. You've got all these sycophants, these people. If you haven't seen South Park's, I think it's 2 episodes ago, they did a whole thing on Christy Nome. She spent the entire episode with
melting
excrement on her nose.
Oh, I did. I saw a clip of it.
But joking aside, because we have to laugh at them. But joking aside, this is what happened in the 40s, the 30s and 40s in Europe. And, at the end of the war, Hitler was hiding underground in a bunker, popping pills and degenerating physically, while all the people around him were crazy mad, trying to get art and valuables and land and grifting on a huge scale. And, killing people. So,
yeah. Well, and I don't know if you've heard what's happening when ICE is taking people. They're taking all their money and their jewelry and their phones, and they're not giving them back. What does that remind you of? Remember the pictures of the Nazis and all the gold wedding rings and jewelry they had there?
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing. Same thing. So if you go to a protest, then don't wear your jewelry.
Yeah, leave everything at home.
Of value. Yeah. But this is also in the past position. So
that's not good.
Well, it is if you're looking at it from the standpoint of moving forward to a new plan. And then, the illumination comes out, kind of moves to the past, but everybody's still carrying a bunch of burdens on their back.
Well, it's not going to be easy. I think that's what I was getting at. It's not going to be, he'll go, everything will be better.
It will not be instantaneous. It will take a while to clean up this mess. Yeah.
Several decades.
Entirely, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The immediate, I feel like there's going to be, good, he's gone. And then people are going to relax when you shouldn't be relaxing.
No. Politics is like nature.
In the hen house.
Yeah. Politics abhors a vacuum.
Yeah. Don't relax just because a dirt nap has happened. There's still a weasel in the hen house. Gonna throw that out there. And he's a narcissist. And what does a narcissist do? They love bomb you and try to make you believe that everything will be okay now. The abuse is gonna stop. It'll be okay until the abuse happens again.
Except the real power that's going on back there are people like Russell Vought and Stephen Miller, and they don't even pretend.
No.
To be human. They don't even pretend.
No. That's Stephen Miller reminds me of Voldemort.
Well, he's very much like Goebbels. He looks like him and acts like him and has the same philosophy. You know what they call him? This is hilarious. He's from Santa Monica. He's from a Jewish family in Santa Monica, California. I mean, come on, Stephen. What's the matter with you? He's called Santa Monica Goebbels. His family disowned him. And if you really want a thrilling afternoon, watch his wife's podcast.
Ew, no.
No. Exactly.
No.
That's exactly what it's like.
No. No. Well, crowning everything, 10 of Wands. So everybody's going to be carrying burdens on their back for a while. Okay. So even though there may be, I feel like this whole regime eventually will be taken out. They'll either be excommunicated, they'll be imprisoned, they'll be sued, they'll be charged with treason, whatever. There's going to be a variety of different things. Even though there's a new beginning and that's going to move forward, we're going to be carrying burdens on our back for a bit, but this is the bright, shiny little nugget of hope that we, coming in the future, we will be able to reap the harvest of getting rid of the evil. But here's the kicker. The Nazis didn't get rid of the Nazis. World War II did not get rid of the Nazis. They still existed. They're still
here. You read my mind. I was just thinking the Germans lost the war. The Nazis just relocated.
They just relocated, which they're not going to go away. You don't change a cult.
Well, where did they relocate to? This is interesting. And I just
Florida.
Figured this out. Well, yeah. I just figured this out the other day. A lot of them went through the Rat Line, which was an underground railroad helped by the Vatican. They went to South America. So you ended up with like the boys from Brazil, that's kind of a true story. There were a bunch of Nazis who ended up in South America. The rest of them went to South Africa.
Oh, God.
And now we come full circle. All the South African tech bros are back in billionaire status, tech business in the Oval Office.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I have a whole video I've made about it, and I haven't put it up yet because I've had, it's like feast or famine. I'll make arrangements months in advance to record with somebody who has a busy schedule. Mm-hmm. And so we'll plan way down the line. And and I'll have 2 or 3 weeks where I'm just scrambling, looking for topics. And then I'll have a week where I've got 25 conversations with people all at the same time. It's crazy, but that's the way it goes.
This is like, yeah. I know after our live, I'm going to another live.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? The one thing this regime gives us, there are lots of topics.
Well, I hope it wakes people up to the understanding of the lack of humanity, the lack of compassion in our existing system. And we're living in a capitalistic society that puts forward the importance only of money and values only the accumulation of money. And I often say it's my intuitive feeling that Martin Luther King Jr. was not assassinated because he was forefront of the civil rights movement. He was assassinated almost like a day after he made a speech about now we're going after capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And I will always think that that's really why he was murdered.
Those are the people that are always taken out, the ones who threaten that. Yeah. That was the same with Kennedy.
And look at all of the truth speakers of the past. We look at Germany during World War II. I know I always go back to that, but there are incredible parallels. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was I don't know what brand, maybe Lutheran minister. He was a minister, Christian minister. Mm-hmm. And he had gone to the East Coast of the United States for further training. I mean, he was really well respected. He was a great speaker. He was kind of a theologian type guy. And so he was doing his churchy business on the East Coast of the United States when the war broke out. And he could have stayed safe. Mm. But what did he do? He went straight back to Germany, and then he spent the rest of his life, because they executed him, he spent the rest of his life preaching from the pulpit every single Sunday about the evils of what was happening. And the SS would come and break up the church program, and they were trying very hard not to get in bad with the religious institutions, but eventually, literally.
Yeah. Well, I have and I'm probably going to piss everybody off, but I believe religion is here to keep kings in powers and peasant compliant.
Yep. And he was the kind of preacher who truly followed the message that mattered and not the institution that controlled. Right?
Did you get the message? That's always the thing. Like, I don't care what religion you are. Did you get the message? It's always the same message. Did you get the message?
I have a conversation with a priest coming up here.
Oh,
can you believe that? So, you know how things pop up on your phone and you didn't expect them? So this short thing pops up when I was uploading one of my videos. This short is presented to me, and it had captions, and the caption caught my eye. Because I didn't have the sound on. Caption caught my eye. And it was this priest, like really close to the camera. He's just talking like you're having an intimate conversation. It was a short, and I thought, well, what's this guy about? So I started listening to him, and I went, whoa, I like him. So I went back and looked at a number of his different videos. And I thought, this man he's speaking the truth. So I invited him to come talk on my channel.
Nice.
Well, he's a priest. He has to be nice. He's actually Episcopalian.
Oh, they're a little nicer.
He was raised Catholic.
Okay,
But
yeah.
he became an Episcopalian, so I'm dying to know that story. Don't worry, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But,
well, I was raised Catholic, and Episcopalians are basically, they just, believe in more equality and women's rights.
What did Robin Williams say about Episcopalians? They're Catholic light, half the
that's what it is.
half the sin, half the guilt, something like that.
Yeah, a lot less guilt, more equality, and women also have a brain. Yeah. So moving forward, I saw 4 more cards.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. I didn't know you still had more. Got distracted.
Yeah. I did a full card spread. So no, that's okay. And somebody asked what my next live is. I have one 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and wherever you are in between. I'm horrible at time zones.
Yeah, I don't do time zones.
And it's with Sherry from Voices from the Swamp. We're doing politics.
Oh, tell Sherry I said hi.
I will. Yeah, she's a hoot. So internally right now, I get Knight of Swords. So what I love about the Knight of Swords on this deck, this is kind of usually presents itself as the American people standing strong. You even have a little American eagle that's flying around there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He's poised on the edge of the cliff. And a knight is an action card. And of course, he's got the sword, which is always has an element of truth and intelligence and wisdom to it. But he's right on the edge of the cliff. He's getting ready to leave. Once you jump off the cliff, you don't turn back.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we're at right now. And the American people feel like we're at right now is we're starting to get some files released. We had a little blue wave where, things are happening. They're coming forward. There's some truth coming out. We have some Republicans not necessarily in Trump's camp right now. So a lot of them are starting to turn against him. There's a little hope. He's getting ready to leap off that cliff. The external influence is the Ace of Swords, which that is the sword of truth. And that is the externally what's going on energetically coming in is, there's some truth bombs coming out. They're going to affect all of this. And then hopes and fears, there's a lot of swords. I don't know. Lately, I just keep drawing so many swords. It's crazy. Hopes and fears, I have 4 of swords. So Democrats have been, accused of being lackadaisical and not really being passionate. The hope is they get off their hiney and start, get a little life in them, which some of them are starting to do. The fear is that I think there's not a lot of people impressed with the old guard. Let's put it that way, that they're too calm. They're not passionate enough. They need to step forward. There's really more of a call for the Gavin Newsoms, the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett's, get some fire in your blood and show us you're alive, And that's in the hopes and fears.
But what you're seeing there. You're seeing the corporate Democrats, of course, straddling both sides in order to financially advantage themselves.
Yes. Which is the whole thing with Schumer, because he's a corporate Democrat. So the whole reason why he did that, it wasn't to feed people. I know people want to believe that, but it was to appease his corporate donors. That's what it was. But the people are really starting to gravitate more towards the social Democrats, right? You got there's more of a hold. And I feel like that's either the party's going to split or it's going to move as a whole that direction. And come midterms, a lot of these old guard are going to be primaried.
Well, young people are going more in that direction. Hence the push for TPUSA and that unfortunate young man who's got horrible ideas, but not anymore. They're trying very hard to get back the control of young people. And that's one way that they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Final outcome, we have Queen of Pentacles. So pentacles and swords are the theme, apparently.
Yeah.
It's truth and money.
Money and truth. And that is a lifelong, eternal battle.
But the queen, so queens are nurturers. Queens are always internal energy. Kings are external energy. The queens are going to take care of their own. They're going to take care of whatever they care about, whether it's their family, their people, their job, their country, their friends, whatever they care about. Queens are nurturers, and they're going to take care of them. And they're going to take care of whatever it is that's important to her. So this queen knows exactly how to get what she wants. She's very good at it. She's good at creating her lavish luxury, and she's also going to take care of her people. So if this is the final outcome, I feel like, though, this is the people rising up, like we're going to take care of our own here. Like social issues are going to become prominent.
Right, right. And we're moving.
Hungry. We're tired of people being sick. The rest of the world can manage to take care of their people. We're tired of corporations telling us we can't do it when other countries seem to be doing it just fine.
Other countries aren't being run by the corporations much. We're moving away from that Capricorn, patriarchal, authoritarian energy, and we're moving into more of an Aquarian sort of, I don't know if feminine is the right word, but more
matriarchal, feminine,
individual, rather than being bossed around as a group. People are starting to think for themselves. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, independent thought. And young people are rejecting all that old stuff.
And I feel like it's kind of the season of the inner goddess and the matriarch and the female energy moving forth. And I don't mean just women, but I mean the nurturing energy.
The yin and the yang, yeah.
We all have male and female in us. It's the male energy has been dominant and oppressive for so long. The people are just like, boom, break out of that. I'm done with it. We need to take care of our own.
I had I won't go into details because privacy and stuff, but a message that was given to us was that now is the time where we're seeing more, literally, statistically, more females being born and more feminine energy being introduced into the environment. Mm-hmm. In order to offset the imbalance. Our balance is completely out of whack, and that is being corrected.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to strive for, and it has nothing to do with what your genitals look like.
Right.
Yeah.
As much as the Republicans want to focus on it, it doesn't matter what you have in your pants.
Well, theirs aren't in their pants.
So. There's a reason why Grindr comes to a halt.
Could you believe that? Yes, I could believe it, but can you believe it? I'm God. You get too old to be shocked. You get shocked.
It's never dull. Yeah. We've almost been 2 hours of chatting.
Well, we're not done, but you have to go.
I mean, we can go all night long, honestly, because I love talking with you, and I hope you'll connect with me again because I really enjoy.
I will. Yeah, of course I will. I have a very conflicted relationship with time. Like it just kind of just disappears. So
we get into these conversations and it just goes.
Well, I mean, if you don't hear from me, it's got nothing to do with you. It's my troubled relationship with time because it passes. My daughter was yelling at me the other day for not being more in touch, and I said, "Well, I just talked to you the other day." She goes, "Mom, that was 3 weeks ago."
I had a friend that did that to me. She goes, "I am so mad at you," and I go, "Why?" She goes, "I haven't seen you in 6 months." And I go, "Nuh-uh, we just got together a few weeks ago." And she goes, "Really? When was that?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right."
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, a lot of stuff is accelerated and we're distracted, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and yeah, I know I don't have time to do anything. So anyway, well, thank you for joining. Thank you everybody for sticking with us and being a part of our live. Please remember to like and share and subscribe and consider membership and all the things. After the live, if you even come back and leave 7-character comments, those are the algorithm things that they like. So that's always appreciated as well.
Oh, is
And
that true?
yeah, apparently the algorithm likes 7-character comments.
Does
So
that mean letters or words?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It could be emojis. It doesn't matter.
I can't cope.
I know.
Judie,
It's
thank
so
you for
much.
inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. I had a good time. Fun.
Me too. Thank you so much. And we'll say goodbye to everybody for now. Thanks, you guys. And if you want to follow along with me, I have join me at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern on another live I'm doing with Sherry. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.